According to a survey by the Mesothelioma Society published on asbestos.com, 55% of American women and 59% of American men think that the FDA regulates cosmetic ingredients. But they're wrong. As the FDA has clarified, the law does not require cosmetic products and ingredients other than color additives to have FDA approval before they go on the market. Unlike food and drug production, makeup and beauty companies basically regulate themselves. This can mean they use products that may make the product work better in terms of staying power, bacterial or mold resistance, and even fragrance, but they can have serious consequences to a user's health. But as Tree Hugger points out, there's more to makeup production than how it affects its human users. Chemical ingredients, animal testing, irresponsible sourcing, water use, air pollution, transportation causing greenhouse gases, and plastic pollution are also big parts of the makeup industry. The chemicals in your lipstick and face makeup may kill coral reefs and other aquatic life.
Ugh.
Beyond that, they may also give you cancer.
Oh, God.
Enter Beautycounter, a supposedly clean brand that tries to combat all of these issues. But does it work? And is it worth it? Let's dig in. Welcome to Greening Up My Act. So for sources today, I try to keep it a little lighter than usual. I opened a bunch of windows and then realized this is one of those topics that you get into the fine line between sustainability, which is the focus of our podcast, and health issues.
Yes, I figured.
Yes. So when you search toxic makeup, you kind of, there's a lot to that, and they tend to dovetail. The chemicals that are toxic to humans tend to also be bad for the environment. But I focus this on eco-friendliness and not health effects.
Yes.
So
good.
Shorter range of sources there. So the first one is beautycounter.com. That's their website. Then it was also that survey from asbestos.com. Sustainable Earth had a list of cosmetic ingredients. Kitenest.co.uk had some news about how do cosmetics impact the environment. Tree Hugger had the environmental impact of cosmetics. The Coconut Mama had homemade natural makeup recipes. And Healthline had a couple of tips in their toxic makeup rundown. Okay, so first, well, I should also preface this by saying we're getting into the holiday season, and I know we just did our Black Friday, but a lot of people give makeup as gifts over the holidays.
Yeah.
And so if you're trying to figure out if what you're giving people is sustainable or not, this may be a good episode for you. So, all right. What is Beautycounter? It is a beauty brand committed to quote unquote clean beauty. Now, we love the term clean.
Do we?
Because it's green hooey. We love it because we're like, what does that even mean?
It means nothing.
Right. But they go into what this means for them. Their theory is that beauty should be good for you. So again, focusing on mostly the health aspect. They've developed a never list of ingredients that aren't banned by the FDA, which I just spoke about, but they may not be safe for use in makeup or other products. And you may recognize some of these ingredients. BHA and BHT. These are two ingredients that extend shelf life, but have been shown to be carcinogenic and disrupt hormones. EDTA helps make it a product shelf stable, but causes skin and eye irritation. Formaldehyde, which can cause cancer and asthma. Parabens, which can prevent mold and bacteria growth, but are hormone disruptors. Phthalates, which can cause hormone disruption and may cause early onset puberty. These are often used in fragrances, which is why when somebody just says fragrance, you don't want to trust it on the label.
Yeah, and we learned that it's the thing that makes the fragrance last longer on your skin.
Exactly.
So if you have a product that does that, it
probably has it. Yeah, I opened my sink a minute ago to get a dishwashing pot out of it and just smelled the fragrance of all of the products that people have bought. Like, I was like, great, all of these.
Yes.
Under my sink, which I'm trying to get rid of. But yeah, our trash bags smell great because I let Instacart pick them for me.
Yeah, I can't do those. It hurts my head now.
It's a headache in a glass. Yep, for sure. Yeah. PFAS, our favorites. They're forever chemicals. They harm our waterways, but they can also cause cancer, immune system damage, and hormone disruption. They're in everything. Sodium lauryl sulfate and sodium laureth sulfate, which are surfactants, which make things stick to your skin, basically, but can irritate skin. or they cause foaming, I guess, actually, is what surfactants do. Hopefully your makeup doesn't foam. But anyway, talc, there's a lot of baby powders and talcum powders that they no longer use talc because it's been linked to asbestos contamination.
Yes.
Asbestos is a known carcinogen. And triclosan, which you will find in your antibacterial soaps, but causes reproductive harm and is toxic to aquatic organisms.
I thought they banned triclosan.
I believe in soap, but you can still use it in makeup products.
God.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So this is just they have a more extensive list at beautycounter.com, but this is some of the things that are on their never list, which sounds kind of great. Beyond creating makeup that is supposed to be better for you by not containing these chemicals, they also state that they're committed to responsible sourcing, sustainable packaging, and climate goals, as well as giving back to the community.
Okay.
One of the things they make very clear is they don't test on animals. So that is an environmental concern. If, obviously that is something we may want to get into, is the environmental impact of testing on animals.
Yeah, I would be interested too.
Yeah, I go back and forth on that a lot because I think it's so unethical to test, especially makeup products, on animals. But there's also so much research that could not have been done just because of ethics. I don't know. I'm not for it, but it's one of those necessary evils, I feel like, sometimes.
Yeah, it's complex for sure.
Yeah, it is. The vegans are going to come for me on that, which is fine. Come for me, vegans. It's okay. I admit. Okay. On their website, Beautycounter lists a whole slew of ways they're transparent in their responsible sourcing. They disclose their supply chain under the terms of the California Transparency and Supply Chain Act. I didn't nail down where they do their production. So if they're in California, they probably have to do that. They probably don't have to do it if they sell to California customers. So this is an extra step that they may be taking.
Okay.
This helps them make sure they're not using slave labor to get their raw materials, which is super important.
Wow.
And they also try to get their raw materials from renewable sources. So like mica, which is what makes most eye makeup shiny and powdery, is mined. But
that's so interesting. I have that in my backyard.
Yeah,
I only know that because I have a geologist friend, Julia, who listens to this podcast.
Hi,
and she was like, "Oh yeah, that's mica." I was like, "What?" Because it's everywhere. It's like so shiny.
Well, maybe you can make your own makeup.
I know. I was like, DIY. It's just paste it to my eyelids.
Yeah. They also list things like vanilla, palm oil. They're on a palm oil, some kind of board for sustainable palm oil, which is we talked about in the Halloween episode about candy, and palm oil is really just deforestation, and orangutans are endangered because of the mining of palm oil. Their other sustainability goals are stated on their website, which include 100% of their packaging will be recycled, recyclable, refillable, reused, or compostable by 2025.
Okay.
They also have a goal in their production of achieving net zero greenhouse gas emissions by no later than 2050, which can be a hairy thing because net zero could just mean you're planting a tree for every,
Yeah, is that like buying carbon offsets, which has been debunked as green hooey, or is it like actually?
And they have a whole list, so I think it goes beyond that. One of the things, I use Beautycounter. A lot of their products have changed over in the past few years from being offered in plastic packaging to glass.
Okay.
They explain, and this is just word for word from their website, did you know in most cities glass is recycled more easily than plastic?
Yes.
If you listen to our podcast, you know that.
I know that now.
Yeah. Unlike virgin plastic, glass doesn't leach harmful toxic chemicals that contribute to greenhouse gas and doesn't run the risk of ending up in our waterways. We did the math and found that considering energy, water, and waste impacts, it was preferable to launch our Counter Time line, that's one of their skincare lines, in glass, reducing the line's fossil fuel use by an estimated 35% and greenhouse gas footprint by an estimated 38%. We even transitioned to a new glass supplier closer to home. Now every package travels an estimated 5,200 miles fewer than it did before.
Oh, wow.
So that's some pretty good numbers, I think.
I would love to know how they did their math, though, because I do know that producing glass generally produces a lot more greenhouse gases.
Yes.
Manufacturing glass than plastic. But
again, we went into the glass. If they're using recycled glass, that's another thing.
Yeah.
So I would like to know how they got their numbers too. But those are pretty good. That sounds nice. You know. At least they're thinking about it too.
Yeah.
They're also phasing out single-use plastic in other ways. So sometimes when you get beauty products, you get like a little spatula measuring thing.
Uh-huh.
They don't have that. They don't use overcaps, lid inserts. They don't have packaged literature printed on plastic, and they don't sell cleansing cloth towels anymore. So makeup remover wipes.
Okay.
And they also have gotten rid of the outside boxes that most of their jars come in. So they have a new way of shipping their glass products. So it uses less cardboard and less materials and no plastic.
Okay, I
So,
like that.
yes. Another thing they're committed to is education. So, and one way they're doing this direct to the consumer is they're taking part in something called How to Recycle. And they have labels on each of their products that tell you how to recycle them. So
Oh.
you don't have to figure it out. They already tell you.
That's nice.
Yeah. They also have a refillable program that they're launching, so you can send it back for a refill. And they're starting a packaging collection program to help recycle the hard to recycle stuff.
Oh, very cool. Okay, love both of those things.
These are big steps, I think. And I couldn't find anything debunking that they do this. And we'll get into that in our is it really sustainable section, but it sounds like they're actually doing the work,
Cool.
which is
Very
nice.
cool. Yeah.
Right. Okay, does it work? It's makeup. There are also a lot of products in the Beautycounter line. So there's skincare, bath and body, makeup, sunscreen, moisturizers. I just talk about their makeup in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Does it work? Yes, the makeup works. I use their foundation, concealer, blush, mascara, eyebrow gel, eyeshadow, and lip gloss. They have a bunch of colors and shades for different skin tones, which is an important part of sustainability to me is that they're inclusive. Their makeup goes on light and it tends to stay, although they don't sell waterproof or super long lasting anything because the chemicals used to make those are
Yes.
the bad ones.
I was just gonna say thank God because I
Yeah,
know they use PFAS to make waterproof stuff. I think.
100%.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a lip stain that's going to stay on forever, this is not your brand.
Okay.
Which good. I mean,
Yeah.
let's phase out the lipsticks that last forever.
Yep.
They've been phasing out a lot of their eyeshadows recently, which I don't know why. I had eyeshadow palettes from them that I loved, and they don't sell. They have one eyeshadow palette,
Huh.
and they also no longer sell any pencils. So they don't have eyeliner pencils or eyebrow pencils.
Interesting.
Yeah, those are two of the things I use a lot. And I was kind of like, why? But it sounds like it's because they can't produce them sustainably or without the chemicals.
Okay.
So I have noticed recently that some of their products, especially the liquid foundation, liquid eyeshadows, and eyebrow gel, they start to smell kind of off.
Huh.
I don't know if that's because they don't last as long because they're quote unquote natural. They don't have the shelf stable, parabens and things in them.
Oh, right.
So they don't have
Like
preservative
the
chemicals.
preservatives. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do they smell like?
Just a little rancid,
Oh.
just off, just a little
Interesting.
musty.
Yeah, because that wouldn't happen with my regular
Yes.
preservative full.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never smelled L'Oreal smell bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I am bad at keeping makeup for way longer than you're supposed to.
Yeah, same.
So sometimes it's like, okay, that smells like bacteria.
Yeah, it's probably like a good thing because then you have a reason to actually get rid of it once it's expired.
Exactly. But the other thing is that I buy from a representative.
Okay.
And she might. I'm not sure how this program works anymore. It used to be, and I'll go in this in a second. She may have just had her stash too long. I know my mom sold Mary Kay in like the 80s,
Oh, okay.
and she would just have like a stash of makeup that you're supposed to sell.
Gotcha.
And if you don't sell it, we just had makeup to play in basically, but it can, you can keep it for a long time. So it may just be that her stash was older.
Okay.
But my sister and I have both noticed the slight smell. It's not overpowering, and neither of us have had breakouts or other issues from it. So it doesn't seem to be that big of a deal. Is Beautycounter easy to use? Yeah, sure. If you know how to put on makeup, it's pretty straightforward. They don't have pumps the way that other makeup does. It's a little bit like when you get to the bottom of the jar, it's a little harder to like open and get the last of the product out because they have these kind of unopenable glass things for their
gotcha
makeup, which keeps it from getting bacteria in it, which I like. But for like the foundation, that would be my gripe about their packaging is that I can't get the last of it out.
Yeah, I like to use every last bit for sure.
100%. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the salespeople. So many, like Avon or Mary Kay, they have brand advocates. And for a long time, you couldn't get Beautycounter in stores, and
Okay.
you had to buy through the website. And basically, the brand advocate had a link, and you ordered through them off the website. But I got introduced to it through my twin sister. Hi, Julia. And she had a friend who was selling it. So it's kind of nice to have this because then you have a person. I mean, it's not local to me. She's local in Cleveland, but I can ask her questions. She'll send me samples.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm like, I have no idea what color foundation to get, she'll send me samples.
Okay.
But they are now sold in Ulta stores for sure. So you can go play around in the makeup too. I still feel like I need to buy from my representative because I know she's got a business going.
Right.
It did feel a little MLM-y for a while. I did feel kind of like, okay, do I have to buy, the bane of every 30 to 40-year-old woman's existence is knowing someone in an MLM who needs you to buy their products and,
Yeah.
takes you to their party and
Right.
forces you
Right.
to do
Right.
it.
Right. 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 Right.
Right. So there's that.
I've actually never been invited to one.
Oh, I definitely have been to a doTERRA one. I've been to what's the kitchen stuff one?
Pampered Chef.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Never mind. I have.
Yeah.
Is Pampered Chef really an MLM?
I think that's a loose definition of it. I know that it is people, it's like Tupperware, right?
Yeah.
You get points for selling. You have to buy it through a representative so they get money off of it. It's kind of like a authorized dealer kind of.
Do you get money if you bring people in?
I don't know about that. That's another thing with Beautycounter. She's not trying to get us to sell for her.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
think
not the
that's
MLM and it's
okay.
not
Cool.
multi-level marketing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're right. It's the pressure your friends to buy your stuff.
Yeah. That's a little different.
Yeah.
Much more palatable.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have no problem with that. How much does it cost? It ain't cheap.
Ooh.
So if you just go on cvs.com, you can get foundation for under $10. You can get mascara for $15. You're probably not going to find too much over $20, right?
Uh-huh.
That's pharmacy, drugstore brand makeup. They're known for that. It's cheap. It's easy. You walk in, you buy it, you're done. If you want cheap makeup, Beautycounter is not your go-to. Their foundation is $52, and that's for like 2 ounces. The mascara is $30 for a regular tube. The brow gel is $26. They sell a Flawless in 5 makeup set, which includes foundation, concealer, brow gel, mascara, blush, and a lip gloss, all set to your skin tone for $171.
Oh, wow. And the idea is that you can put that all on in 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Because no way.
Oh, I do it.
Me? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I must be slow or something. But
oh, no, it's easy for me. I even also have eyeliner and eyeshadow that I use too.
Damn.
I can definitely do that. Of course, designer makeup runs about this much normally. So this is, if you shop at Sephora, most of their mascaras run from anywhere from $28 to $40. They sell foundation for anywhere from $20 to $70, depending on the brand. Sometimes stuff is on sale for like $7. If you're a real makeup shopper, Beautycounter's pricing is probably going to fall in line with what you would normally spend. So it's not outrageous for a luxury brand.
Yeah.
And their makeup does last a long time. I probably buy once a year.
Okay.
I've had 2 of their older eyeshadow palettes for 5 or 6 years now, but I also don't wear makeup every day. And you're not supposed to keep most of your makeup that long. You're supposed to replace your mascara like every 3 months.
Yeah, I never do that.
Yeah, I'm bad. But again, I don't wear it every day. So I use it till it runs out.
Yep.
Okay, the big question we've all been waiting for, is it actually eco-friendly? Okay, once again, we run into the question, can any consumer-driven brand be eco-friendly? All production causes some harm to the environment that could be avoided if people just didn't want to buy it, right?
Yeah.
And do we need makeup? No. Not in a Maslow's hierarchy of needs kind of way. It's not anywhere in the pyramid.
Yeah.
We need to eat. We probably need clothes. We don't need makeup. Okay, I could also get into how makeup makes people feel better, how women who wear makeup are perceived better in society, although that's not for any good reasons that I can think of, and how makeup is an art form. And I could talk about how much I love watching makeup tutorials on Instagram. right?
Mm-hmm.
Makeup
Or
is,
Glow Up. That show is really fun.
oh, yeah, glow up is great. Makeup's part of our society.
Mm-hmm.
It's just here. We all are, there's makeup somewhere in your life.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people who opt out, and it's not a big deal in my
Yeah.
mind. But
Yeah. And I think since the pandemic, makeup, like, we're not expected to put a full face of makeup on all the
right,
time, even when we go out, even if you go to the office.
yes,
I mean, some people would argue it's kind of a politeness thing to put on makeup if you're, I don't know, at a bank or something. You're forward facing. I don't know. But
mm.
it's not a big deal if you don't wear it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, eh, okay. For a makeup brand, yes, they're more eco friendly than others. Probably more than the drugstore brands you're going to see. So, yes, I would say they are eco friendly as a consumer brand can be. I mean, maybe not as eco friendly as a consumer brand can be. They are conscientious, they are aware, they are trying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're not the worst.
and they're not the worst. Definitely not the worst. Better than most. Better Goods rates the company as iffy on sustainability
Oh,
because
interesting.
they still use plastic. Like any plastic is bad plastic. There's no such thing as good plastic, right?
Oh, but then we have to think about the other side of it, where plastic helps reduce greenhouse gases.
Right. And
So,
especially if they're reusing the plastic they're already producing or they're using recycled plastic instead,
right.
you know.
It's such a hard thing. I'm not advocating for plastic use, but what I have been learning is that it's like this sort of irony of plastic is so energy efficient to create that it
Yeah.
like kind of sucks that.
Right. Compared, yeah, especially
But then
compared to
on the back end, I mean, on the back end, both ways, you're screwed, right? Like
right.
you either have, like I said last time, I think, like land pollution or air pollution. So
Yeah. Well, and still most plastic is made out of fossil fuels.
yeah, and we just need a plastic that's not shit. That's
Right.
really
And
what we need.
yeah, they're developing plastic out of algae and other things.
Mm-hmm.
It's just taking them long because that's way more expensive to produce
Yeah.
now currently. So,
Right.
but Better Goods still gave them good ratings for their ingredients being clean, even though, and this was another thing, they still use synthetic ingredients and dyes.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not as opposed to synthetics as I think a lot of people are.
Hmm.
I don't think I don't like arsenic is natural. Arsenic's not good for you.
Yeah, that I think I just looked up so the one that you said sodium lauryl sulfate on
Yes.
EWG, and I think they rated it totally fine.
Interesting.
Yeah, 1 to 2 out of 10. 10 is bad. So it's totally fine. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's like these chemicals that we create might not be terrible
Right.
for us and,
Right.
probably
Well,
not
and
for the
again, we'd
environment.
have to go down every single one and see what it does for the environment,
Mm-hmm.
which is probably what I should have done in this research. But
Well, if you look at the environmental working group, they kind of do that. And what I was finding from shampoo, which I feel like they probably have similar ingredients as makeup to a certain extent, most of the ones for shampoo didn't really have an environmental,
impact.
yeah, not nearly as much as human. So it's kind of interesting.
That's a big question. If it affects human beings, is it
We are
still
part of the
we are
environment.
part of the environment? Yeah.
Yes.
And I talk about sustainability is such a big umbrella. It also includes labor practices. Like they're saying one of their main
Mm-hmm.
commitments is to not using slave labor. And
Right.
that's hugely important.
Yes.
Inclusivity is another part of the ecosystem that we have to think about in our modern world. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, at least they're trying, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing, they're not vegan. They are cruelty free, but they're not vegan. So
Okay.
that's something to note. I don't know what that means exactly. I guess they're just not vegan certified.
Yeah, it could be some sort of animal fats or something.
Yeah, I mean, uh, sometimes they use ground up oyster shells or something for sparkles
Okay.
or shellfish. There's all kinds of different.
Hmm.
So I haven't dug through the ingredients enough to know, but they don't test on animals at least.
Okay.
So this is a short one today because I'm already at the granola rating here.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Sometimes short's good.
yeah. I have no problem with that. So our granola rating, we also didn't introduce the show very much here. I just kind of dove into it. So we can talk a little bit about what our
Yeah,
goals are.
that
So
sounds good.
yeah, our granola rating is how we rank the products, services, and systems that we talk about and research on a scale of 1 to 5 granolas, 1 being the worst, which is soggy, and 5 being the best, which is break your tooth off. And we take a look at all of those factors I mentioned above. Does it work? Is it easy to use? Is it cost effective? And is it actually eco-friendly? And we take all of those together and we come up with a granola rating for them. Today's product, Beautycounter specifically, I'm giving it a 3, which is chewy.
Oh, I thought it would be better.
I almost gave it a 3.5.
Okay.
The thing was the price.
Fair.
It just feels like one more way that normal everyday Americans are barred from making better choices for their health or ecosystems.
Right.
You know? Why is it that, again, nobody needs makeup,
Mm-hmm.
but why isn't the $20 L'Oreal going to have the same, sustainability?
No, it's true.
So,
yeah, L'Oreal with all of the possible resources to make those choices.
yeah, they make so much money, and it's at the expense of our health and our ecosystems. And again, that is what it all comes down to. So that's not Beautycounter's fault. That's our society's fault. But it was kind of reminding me of minimalism. It's like, or green living in general, right? Is such a rich girl's game.
Right.
It's such an Instagram influencer. Well, I have all the money in the world, so I only drink water out of glass bottles. And, I can make that choice because I have the
Vegan
resources
water,
to make
to
it.
be
Yes,
specific.
vegan, gluten-free, glass bottled water. I also knocked it down a pole because they're still creating a product and generating a demand.
Yeah, that's true. That's
They're
true.
Yep, they're part of the consumerist ecosystem.
Yeah, and it is definitely not a requirement or necessity.
Right.
And, some people might argue against that, but
yeah,
it's a debate, but
yeah,
it's not water or food. So
right, exactly, or shelter. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, from the other side of the coin, they do make an effort. I appreciate their transparency, their goals on sustainable packaging, their sourcing efforts, their education and advocacy are also really important, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what brands do you know that are actually, instead of just slapping a little reduce, reuse, recycle symbol on it, are actually telling you how to recycle the products that you
Yes,
get?
I really appreciate that.
Imagine if Coca-Cola did that,
Even Colgate has the recycle me. It says recycle me on their toothpaste tube.
You're like, how?
Yeah, it doesn't tell you how, and it doesn't make it clear that it's like you can throw it in the regular recycle bin, and it should just say that.
Yeah.
At least I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, from what I didn't see it on there, but maybe it did. But yeah, it's like
again. And we go back to that stat I started with. 55% of women think that the FDA regulates makeup, right? It's the same with, we think, recycling. And where are we going to get that information from?
How the hell did makeup fall through the cracks?
Because it's not a consumable.
Ugh.
It goes on your skin, and also it's not a necessity.
So
food is. Drugs are.
Do they regulate things like soaps? They do.
To
Maybe
some
not the
extent.
FDA. Food and Drug.
I think the EPA does. So, yeah, that it's, for all of the crap that the FDA and the EPA get for being regulatory, it's kind of amazing how few things. I mean, the Beautycounter website said, there's only like a handful of ingredients that are barred in the United States. Europe has 1,400. But yeah, it's the Wild West. Even if we're not allowed to put lead and arsenic and certain things, but we can still use PFAs in our PFAS in our makeup and our underwear production. And triclosan. Yeah.
Ugh.
So, yeah, a 3.5.
Okay.
I almost gave them a 4, but it's those things that we keep coming back to. Like I can't give a consumer product too high of a rating.
That makes total sense.
Yeah. But there are alternatives. So I say you can buy Beautycounter if you don't mind spending the money. If you have it, great. I feel less bad buying that than dipping into the pharmacy and buying products that may give me and others cancer or kill a bunch of orangutans or destroy the environment and be made by starving children who are paid pennies on the dollar. Not all cosmetic companies do this. It's just safe to say Beautycounter makes an effort not to.
Yeah.
So you can feel okay buying them, I think. But there are other alternatives. So Healthline listed ways that you can find more sustainable and non-toxic options for your skincare and makeup needs. The biggest thing you can do is learn to read labels. So they have a full list of ingredients you should avoid, kind of like that no-no list,
Okay.
that just to be safe. They also say look for certified organic or locally sourced ingredients. So a lot of brands will list those. You should learn what symbols you should trust. So, certification labels can help. But again, as we know, there's a lot of green hooey ones out there. Cruelty free is pretty easy to figure out. It's got that leaping bunny. Vegan, certified organic. Those are all things that are pretty easy. There are other labels like natural. You
Clean.
gotta clean. You gotta figure out who's doing the label. Allure has the best beauty products of whatever, but that Allure doesn't necessarily go for sustainability. So just because Allure recommends it doesn't mean it's going to be good for the environment or good for your health.
Yeah.
So they have another link of labels to watch out for on their website there. Another thing they suggest is count the ingredients. So the fewer ingredients are listed, the better. And this was something we found also with essential oils.
Oh,
that
yeah.
you can, if it says exactly what it is rather than an extract of that, or not an extract of that, but like a synthetically made version of that, it's probably better. Again, we went through essential oils are not all good for you, so be on the lookout for that. But again, easy to read ingredients usually means it doesn't have as many synthetic chemicals that could be harmful. So that's one way to check for sustainability and health issues. Also look out for buzzwords, the green hooey that we like to call out, like natural, biodegradable. Any of these terms that don't really mean anything, they aren't regulated. Just be aware of that.
Yeah.
They also recommend doing your own research, which is what we do.
Yeah, we do it for you.
Yeah. And the last thing they recommend is to wear less makeup. So this does two things. It reduces your exposure to, if you're going to use that long-lasting lipstick, don't wear it every day.
Okay.
And it also means you're not going to buy as much, which lessens the, toll on the environment.
Yeah. This is really frustrating because not only do women, we talked about this earlier, how women are more likely to do the cleaning and therefore way more likely to be exposed to the harm that's in a lot of like normal cleaning products.
Yeah.
And we're probably the ones wearing makeup.
Yeah.
So that's like very annoying to me.
We're exposed to more chemical. I mean, again, we talked about period products.
Right.
Those are exposing you to these. I mean, there's so many ways that women are exposed to more chemical
I never
issues.
thought about that.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating.
And also a lot, I'm a bad biologist. Somebody who's a real biologist come in on this, and a real chemist, but we tend as human beings to store chemicals in fat, and women have more of that than men.
Right.
So we're more likely to keep it in our bodies longer.
Is that true, or you're guessing?
I believe I have read that somewhere.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's not only are we exposed to more, we're more likely to hold on to it longer. And yeah.
Frustrations.
So, yeah. Can you make your own makeup? That's another alternative. Yes. I had a roommate once she made her own like compact face powder, like cover up, and she would use cinnamon and like cornstarch and some other things and mix it all together with rubbing alcohol and then just let it dry and like with an old blush tin, and that would work. The problem with food grade makeup is it can go bad quickly. Also, it can irritate your skin.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. So like, essential oils are all natural, but sometimes that doesn't mean they're great for you. So again, arsenic is bad for you. Lead is bad for you. All natural though. So the Coconut Mama made a list of 25 recipes for DIY makeup solutions. And she also had a list of all of the ingredients you could need. It looked pretty good. It's like activated charcoal, all of those things you can get. I posted the link in our sources. So, human beings have been making makeup for thousands of years. It's not new. So, of course, there's going to be DIY home ways to make it. But just remember, everyone wore face powder in the 17th century, but it was full of lead. So just because you can make it at home doesn't mean it's good for you. Just be very careful. I think that list from Coconut Mama is pretty good. And Make sure that, you watch out for bacteria and other things that could infect you. If you're not going to use it, don't buy it. Don't
Yeah.
don't waste the money. Don't waste the resources.
Yeah.
So that was Beautycounter.
Nice.
So yeah, I might rethink. It might be a 4, but
No,
I think it's a 3.5.
I think you convinced me. 3 or 3.5 because it's true. It is an excess. It's not a necessity. It's not like, because the thing I worry about is like if we label stuff a 4,
Yeah.
that's just something you can buy for fun in my mind.
Yeah.
Then it's sort of like, oh, well, I feel so good about buying this thing that I don't actually need. So, yeah.
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 I mean, our biggest takeaway is reduce.
Mm-hmm.
So if you
and
don't need to wear
refuse.
makeup, yeah,
that was
yes,
from
and refuse.
the Buy Nothing
Yes.
group where it's like,
Yeah. You don't have to be part of this
you
cycle.
can refuse. Yes.
Yeah.
I actually don't wear makeup very often, and part of it is the pandemic. Part of it's being a mother.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it, but a lot of it is working remotely. Actually, like you said, it's like I will wear SPF.
Yes.
Tinted moisturizer with SPF, and then maybe some eyebrow gel, and then maybe mascara if I'm feeling fancy, but that's it. So
I feel like since I've turned over 35, anytime I wear mascara, I just have permanent black circles under my eyes, no matter how much I wash it off.
Exactly.
But that's the one thing I like. I like mascara. I like to have my eyes pop. So
okay.
But yeah, I'm the same way. I don't wear makeup at home. Like if I'm going out, I'll put it on. But if I'm just going to the grocery store, I'm not going to put on makeup.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with wearing it. It's just
no. And it can be fun. Yeah, it's just an additional step that I don't need. I'm not trying to impress anyone.
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you for this.
Yeah. I did want to bring up, I had some listener mail.
Oh.
My twin sister, who is one of our best commentators, had something to say about our mini episode on landfills, which was a couple episodes ago. Yeah. She didn't like our granola rating.
What was it?
We gave it a 1.
Landfill was 1 out of 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I kind of agree with her reasoning. So she said I could quote her on this. I'm just going to read her text message.
Yes.
She said, I have to gripe about the landfill conclusion. I enjoyed the episode, thank you, and I agree that we should make less waste, and landfills are frightening, but they are so much better than life without them. 3 exclamation points. They deserve at least a 2. Compare to countries that don't bury or capture the leachate and methane. Compare to countries that don't separate hazardous. Would you rather just have open pits that people live in and dig through for items? I mean, they can improve, and as a society, we have an obligation to make less waste, but for a lot of our trash landfills, they are a much more environmental option than burning or throwing trash in the oceans. This is true.
This is true.
They are better. We still want to keep stuff out of them. So, okay, we'll upgrade landfills to a 2, Julia.
If you insist.
Yes.
No, it's true. It is true. Because, I think the thing that annoys me about landfills is that they don't all, I don't even know if most use the methane that's produced, even though they freaking could. And it might be more expensive, but I think they can sell it. I don't know. That just bugs me. But it's true. Much better than an open pit, much better than in the oceans or all over the ground or,
Yeah, in your backyard.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, we agree. Okay, I was a little harsh on landfills. I admit it. But
be nice to landfills.
Yes. Appreciate your local landfill. And maybe that's just it. It's kind of mindfulness about all the work that goes into that. And, let's make them less harmful. Let's keep stuff out of them. Quit buying stuff that it can only be thrown away.
Yes.
Do your best to not do that. Oh, and that was another thing I wanted to mention about using glass. I think we talked about this. This is circling back to Beautycounter using glass. Using glass was something we talked about with essential oils, is that those can't be recycled because the oils and stuff, So the fact that Beautycounter is taking back those jars and finding ways to recycle them themselves is helpful as well.
Yes, I love that.
That's a big issue with glass,
Yep.
So, okay. All right. So next week. Sustainable shampoo and conditioner.
Yes, we're focusing on shampoo bars or solid shampoo. So
Awesome. I'm excited about this one. So,
it should be
well,
fun.
thank you. Thank you for listening to Greening Up My Act.
Yes, and please leave a review if you have a second. So just scroll down on your little app there and click those 5 stars, and we would love you forever.
Yeah. Appreciate it. All right, we're deep into December now, or we're first week of December for this episode. So I hope everybody is
warm.
Yeah, feeling good after their Thanksgiving holidays and ready for this is, I think, officially, let's circle back to that after the holiday season at work. So
yes,
use that line and get some rest.
Love it.
Awesome. All right, I'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.